Yo, all right, what's good, everybody? We're just gonna hop in and run through price action, run through the trade recap of the day. Just to put this out there, I did not take this, bro. I've been getting cheeked with school where I have some lecture or some test or some BS, right? Every single time there's an opportunity, right? Especially the way I trade, I have like literally 3-4 minutes to enter. So if I'm not on the chart, literally the entire pretty much point, using discretion to figure out when to hop on and when to hop off, then I'm gonna lose opportunities, right? So I've missed 2 opportunities in these past 2 weeks because of that, right? So I really just hop in. All right, so bigger time frame analysis. Here's what we have to understand, right? I'm gonna walk you guys through the whole point of my bigger time frame analysis, right? Two things: narrative of exactly what price is doing from like the past like day or two, and then I'll look at where the drawn liquidity should be going into open, right? Because that's the whole point of your entire top down, right? So what has price been doing? Past few days or past like week even, right? We've been running up to all-time highs. We take all-time highs, we place in an SMT, boom, okay. So a little bit now in the overnight session. We open the market, we run higher, boom, crazy sell-off in Asia and the whole overnight session, right? So pulling out our standard deviation, Asia really doesn't capture it, but most of that kind of wild overnight session right here at like 6:45, bro, and on Sunday, price is just selling, right? So it's telling us a couple things, right? It's leaving this big new week open gap right all the way up here, which is good for us, right? Because that gives us a potential target. But for the short bias that I was convicted on today, it was not good, right? So what price does is we run all the way, all the way, all the way lower, right? Running all the way lower, and then we place in this SMT throughout London, right? So if you guys check this out, right, in just terms of sessions, this is Asia, pretty much accumulation, London manipulation, New York continuation. However, I just thought that this would be manipulation of Asia and then a run continuously lower right here. And the reason I thought that is because of this big disrespect of all of this right here, leaving these big value gaps in equilibrium with this nice range, right? But so on open, right, I'm looking for pretty much this to play out. I'm looking for a pull back into this for value gap, tap equilibrium, do whatever price wants to do like this, and around 950, I'm wanting to take something like this, right? And just get involved super high up with low confirmation if narrative is perfect, right? And then trade something like this because I'm confident in the draw. See if we can bang something crazy like this, right? That's what I like to trade, right? That's what I really like going into today. However, price didn't give me that, right? And since it didn't give me that, I didn't force it. What price does is literally in the first, I think, 3 or 4 candles, we already pushed past equilibrium. So ES right here, 930. Where is that? 928, 930. But 930 candle literally pushes price all the way to equilibrium. Same on NQ. I think NQ is even worse though. 930 right here. Boom. Crazy, crazy push all the way to equilibrium, right? So around 950, where I'd want to see price, we just keep pushing higher. We just keep pushing higher. So every single point of my higher time frame analysis to figure out where the higher time frame is going, figure out my drawn liquidity, right? So if right now I'm looking at this is at 945 right here. If I see this big candle in, I'm telling to myself, yo, we have to start going lower right now, confidently, fast, doing everything we need to do, or else we're going to go higher, right? This big amount of momentum on open shows me we probably want to go higher. So if we're going to continue out that initial bias, right, if that's what price is going to do, what does it have to show me? It has to show me a quick move lower, or else it doesn't make sense to go lower from, right? So our next 15 minutes, you see, we do not go lower. So now I'm locked into either a long bias to this high or to new week open gap, or I'm locked into a consolidation bias and I'm not touching this, right? So my job is to figure out which one of those two, right? So price starts slowing down right around our 950 point, and we start accumulating here till 1050, right? So a full hour accumulation. What does this do, right? Let's check out this ES opportunity. This one I paper traded, but I definitely like the NQ one a lot more, right? ES comes all the way higher. Do we tap into our new week open? Let me just check, right? I should have a pretty small new week open right here. I'll just bring that. So right below our price is currently at, right? So I don't think we tap into it. And then from there, we place in an SMT. NQ does tap into new week open gap, and then from there we sell, right? So from there we sell, we place in another SMT right here, a second internal SMT, and then this is where I just get involved at the change market order right here, stop at that low, and then leave runners all the way to here because the bigger time frame is showing me that my drawn liquidity is this high, right? So now I just have to wait till the internal time frame pulls back, manipulates, and then goes, right? Like this is very, very, very textbook. This is exactly what I covered in yesterday's video that I posted, talking about the secret that's in market maker models, why they're so simple, why they allow you to be just so advantageous in the market, right? All that stuff, it's so simple. That's what I took advantage of today. I made the video about it yesterday and I used it today to prove it, bro. So coming back, right? This is what I liked more on NQ, right? So this is where we took the initial ES opportunity. But if you look, NQ wants to sell a little bit further, right? So we placed in yet another SMT. I would have wanted to see us go by now, and ES is kind of sitting there. So once I see the SMT get placed in, we soup this level now as a bit of just a little bit of a, what's it called, stop raid before we run in the opposing direction towards the draw. Another thing I liked is how we're using OTE of this range right here. Perfect. Literally, I mean, that's tick perfect, bro. I don't know what to tell you guys. Tick perfect tap. Oh, actually, it's not. I lied, y'all. Very close to tick perfect tap on that 0.705 level, which if you don't know about that, that's our level that we want to see get hit for OTE, right? So right here, 0.705, really close to that stop rate. Second we get above that, shows us we do not want to go lower. So this is an opportunity that on NQ I like, right? So I see after that, big displacement higher. Only thing I don't like though is I don't have an inverse, and that's really the only issue with this entry. But conviction and just kind of watching the market, its story, especially time, right? 10:50 a.m. Let's say 10:50 right here, opening literally as I took the trade. That's giving me confidence that this is going to be the opportunity that is going to be the only one before price blasts off to go take that high. So I have to get involved now so I don't get involved in that crazy high PM chop, right? So this is pretty much our 10:50 opportunity. I'm just gonna mark that with that just little turtle right there. But this is where I want to be looking for trades, right? Because here is where you see that first take profit get delivered, literally at 11:10, right? So I want to be trading for that. So the way I'm looking at this is I would have been, because keep in mind I didn't take this, bro. I'm in a lecture, bro. Some BS. But we pop up, changing the state right here. Now I'm looking because I don't have an inverse. I want to have further confirmation because a lot of times, like right here, we'll place in an SMT like we did, literally right here, and then from there, we'll literally make a perfect change in the state and maybe even an inverse too if price wants to, right? And then from there, literally watch this perfect change right here, inverse. What does price do? It literally completely goes lower and stops it out, literally in one candle. So this is not something I'm looking into taking if that's what I'm going to be getting, right? So I need to wait till I see at least this candle after that change of the state hold, right? So what I see is that candle is a small down close candle, and then we push above it. That's now an order block, right? So I want to see this order block hold to continue and propel me towards the draw if the draw is really the draw, right? So I'll just pull this with like this boy so it looks a little bit different, right? But yeah, so this is my order block right here, and I want to see that hold, right? So stop at that low here. How do I trade this position? There's two things, and today I think I would have chose the more defensive one simply because we're trading in a lot of chop, and we're betting right now that we explode out of this chop and we start to get clean when we take our trade, which was the correct idea and did end up playing out, right? But keep in mind, this is so simple as draw liquidity on the bigger time frame, manipulation away, get involved and ride the trend, right? So right here, I'm waiting, I get my smart entry, and now from here, the way I normally will manage this trade is like this, right? I'll usually wait for internal model to hit, and then I'll take 50% off, moves out to break even, and then I'll slowly milk profits at 2, 2.5, and then here at the full external draw if market presents it, right? That's usually how I would do it. Today, I would have done things differently because the market is showing me such, I'm going to say such a good chance that we just consolidate. The way I'm going to be trading this is once I get confirmation that we pull higher right here, after this candle comes in, I've seen my displacement. I'd want to see the market hold this imbalance or hold this down close candle or whatever you want to check out in the bigger time frames. I want to see the market hold that and be strong. And if the market's not strong, even if it eventually delivers to my take profit, I don't want to be in the trade. So once I see that big, strong push higher, I'm going to break even, right? I'm doing that because I don't want to sit through chop. So if the market's going to come down, that's showing me enough information that we're going to be choppy, right? Even if it's a fast manipulation, then we go, okay, most of the time that's going to show me that we are going to be choppy and I don't want to be in the trade. So I would have gone break even super fast here and then let runners go, right? So I'm probably going to take first off here, maybe one within here and then most to here. But I'm pretty convicted that we go take this high, especially we're trading the one that's even, I think we're closer right here, 105. Let's check, when does ES take this high? ES takes this high at a 150, right? So we were closer on NQ, definitely convicted that we're going to take that draw, looking super clean, right? So like I said, and I outlined this perfectly in yesterday's video, so go watch that because it's literally outlining my entire strategy in like 10-15 minutes, bro. It's so simple. Identify the market maker model, right? We see this. This is potentially our London manipulation and then New York continuation right here. Right here, boom. And this becomes a drawn liquidity. So I know this is my drawn liquidity. Now every single pull back where I can identify my smart money reversal is a manipulation that gives me an opportunity to trade an internal model and align with that external draw. So literally exactly the same, bro. I take this exact trade. all the time, and I always bank, bro. I always bank, and I wait for this specifically, and I have a high win rate just doing that, right? You guys see the stuff I put out. So, trying to think of anything else I want to put out here. Oh yeah, so one of the big things that I've been noticing is why a lot of traders have such a large edge in today's markets, and something that I think like I'm adapting to my system is the belief that like the way I trade a lot and that I teach a lot of stuff is that you should be in your position, stop at where the stop's at, completely neutral trading, right? Because this is fundamental and this is how the market works. The real position to take here is like this, and then from there you can leave runners, right? And you don't go break even until first take profit gets hit until you see all these things, right? The issue with that is that it's good, but position wise, it doesn't position you as good as many other systems that are simpler and more brain dead, right? That's why you see all these dudes on YouTube, bro, that talk without conviction, don't know what the Johnson they're speaking about, and they still hop on the charts and backtest and just print money, right? And all those guys, like, respect, bro, from the bottom of my heart. I know they struggled. I know they did all these things to make money, but dude, when you see them hop on and they speak like they're like teenagers, they don't know what they're doing. Like I can speak like I know what I'm doing, right? But these people have the most simplistic systems, but they have such a large edge. Why that works for them is because they would trade something like this, right? They would trade this order block with the tight stop right here. And the second they get that push, they will go break even 99% of the time, right? Because now I'm relying on market volume. If there's no volume, I'm not going to trade it. And if I know my draws right, it should be light to be able to insert myself within a price pullback to get there, right? So I don't want to see the market be inefficient. I'm just going to go stop to break even. And if it plays, it plays. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? And another thing about that is that since I got involved here, right? If I was one of those guys and I was trading inverses and I'm trading to like right here, right? Say this is where I get involved, place a tight stop, right? I'm getting involved like, I'm just trying to get a good example. So like, let's just say unrealistically, like I'm here, right? And I'm leaving for here. The thing is that the second I get this up candle, I can go break even because at this point, if price pulls back, we're probably gonna stop me out, right? But I now have so much room that if the market's gonna continue, it has all of this room to breathe. I just have to sit back and not care about it, right? So you can get crazy runners trading the way that a lot of these people do, right? And the concept of the system is milking the stop a tiny bit so you get a little nice RR boost, and then the gold comes in break even and aggressive position scale outs, right? So I'm only taking 50% out because I know my draws align, and I'm just gonna let the rest go to like here and then to here, right? Aggressive with that and just trading in line with the draw, going break even fast, bro. And like it depends on market regimens too, because there's a lot of conditions where going break even will just destroy you, right? And that's why certain strategies work at certain times and certain ones don't, and you underperform. Like right now, that continuation strategy is just printing because we're getting big moves, right? But the days where it's not classic buy, classic sell, I think it's better to trade the way that I trade, right? Where we place our stops and we leave them in place until we see either stop loss or take profits hit, right? I think that's going to be better. So going forward, I'm adopting those things. Gonna add a little bit of discretion into my strategy when doing those things because I think the continuation edge is just so great that it's stupid to not go break even fast and just let it run, right? You can really get in line with the draw like I did on Friday, like I'm going to keep doing throughout this next whole month, bro. That's how you trade. That's how you really milk the market. And I'm happy to just hop on here and show you guys some opportunity. And yeah, so hope you guys learned some stuff. If not, drop me in the comments, tell me what I should do better so I can help you guys because I really want to show you guys what I'm doing, want to build a little bit of a community. So yeah, I'm gonna put this out there and I'll catch y'all later. So peace out. Thank you for showing up. Peace out, bro.